what this character has to offer, and I think it'll be super interesting to see. Oh, never mind. Cut the
We're
cameras.
right
Everything.
into it.
This is Biken. Absolutely. No, this is Biken. This is a character I am actually in love with. I have played this character since Accent Core. I am super excited to see how they play this matchup against Pop, which is not a good matchup for him at all.
No, I was gonna say I know that if you might love Biken, but I know that Potemkin does not. And off to a rough start for Spectre.
Yeah, pretty much clinical. Clinical for the most part, starting things off with a perfect here in winners round 1. I actually like how JS is like Potemkin's like word. That is by far the weirdest round start and the weirdest interaction ever. I have never thought to do round start instant air Yozansen before, but it actually traded with his 5K. Great Yozansen mix. There comes the Tommy. What's going to be the mix after this? Goes low instead.
Looks like we're playing keep away to keep him in the corner, but it doesn't work out too well, and that's going to be a big old buster.
Doesn't matter who you are. Great parry. This is exactly why it's exactly why the matchup. Oh, and he burst at the wrong time too. He was expecting. He saw Biken start her run, but bursted expecting her to try and go for an immediate meaty. He delayed it, but it ended up working into his detriment. Which it's better to use a burst even if you are going to lose in that situation. It's best to use a burst while you have it. You never want to go out in a round with burst still up unless you just built it up from you getting hit by a combo.
Absolutely, spend what you got. Yeah, weird interaction there. It seems like possibly that far slash from Biken was maybe a mistake, but it worked out fine when they got that burst out of Potemkin.
Yeah, it's actually super interesting because this is a bad matchup for Pot for like a slew of different reasons. JS is a really, really strong tool. Biken actually thrives in the aerial space with JS. JS has been a button that's been consistently good with her since Accent Core days, right? It's been a very strong move for as long as she's been a character, and it's great to use against Pot, I would say, but it doesn't matter who you are, what character you're playing. This is how things end up. You get hit by Garuda Impact once. This is what you're looking at.
And no fear of the parry going for the meaty 5K there.
What's interesting as well is you can actually parry Garuda Impact as well. I don't know. I don't know if LeBrant knows that, but you can parry Garuda Impact and still manage to get the counter and the knockdown for it. It just depends on how they want to play this. So far, more of the aggressive play style, and here comes lots of setups.
Ooh, tries to bait the burst.
On that burst.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of busters coming out, and it seems like LeBrant is ready to adjust to that. Is this gonna be enough?
This should be death. He's gonna splash.
Oh yeah,
he's dead. That's the Biken. Hey, that's my girl right there, bro.
Yeah,
I'm such a big fan of her. I have a mug with only her face on it. Like it's a bunch of faces from different Guilty Gears. Like actually, it is godlike. It's one of my favorite mugs ever. I'm a big fan of this character.
Yeah, that's hype. I gotta pick one of those up for Oh, the whiff close slash into Potemkin Buster. That shit. No one is going to avoid that.
Yeah, good burst. Honestly, I respect it. Plus frames. Not too. Yeah. Oh, she should have delayed it.
Yeah.
If you delay it when you're doing IID, thank you. Did he hear me?
Just like that. Yep. You got a direct line.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you definitely have to delay it because if you delay it, it becomes plus. So
not quite enough there. Yeah.
Yeah, use it a little bit too early as well, or at least didn't. So the thing about that is that even if you do delay it, of course you're in a situation where it's like, oh well, somebody could 6P or they could recognize that you are delaying it, but it's in some situations you don't really want to risk that. Biken coming down,
absolutely not.
Zansen is just as scary as her doing instant air, right? It's something you have to be very, very aware of. And even though they got thrown twice out of the 3 times they used Yozansen at the end of it, one of those hits, you gotta delay the Yozansen if you want to make sure that you can continue that pressure. Nice. Oh, he was waiting for the burst. Spectre's doing an amazing job with delaying these bursts, actually.
Yeah, because they've pretty much bursted at the same spot every time, and LeBrant has been looking for it, but they've been delaying it enough that it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, so far they hit every burst, and while it may not gain them the distance it is that they want, it's been doing pretty good.
Scary moment here for LeBrant. That wall's coming.
Yeah. Garuda again. Yep, Kara. She tried to parry too, I just heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, nice. This should be death. Mm-hmm. That's fair. I actually do like the RC as well. Had they not RC'd and just went with the normal combo even after delaying Yozansa, they wouldn't have been able to get the 6H. So I do actually like the fact that LeBrant did that.
Yeah, and you might as well secure it. I mean, when your opponent is on that little health, nice, looking for a jump out there, knows that they've been going for a lot of immediate buster and wants to. Ooh,
oh, good awareness.
The cross of Yozansen. Another
That's
one.
What defense does. It's the exact same premise. Whenever you use FD off of that air dash, it sends you further.
Yeah, and a lot of characters can get some crazy stuff off that. Reversal Super's definitely going to hit.
It's not going to kill, though. Oh, I lied. Bro, why does it never kill when I do it? It never kills when I do it. Oh, okay, but all of a sudden, since we're in tournament, all of a sudden it gets the damage buff? It never kills when I do it. They always live in a pixel. It's like an episode of Will It Kill. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, bro. All right.
And on pot.
Yeah, literally. Crazy, man. That is absolutely insane. Truly, truly.
What we're at now? 2-1 for Brent?
2-1. LeBron is indeed 2-1. Yeah, that's come on, man. I can't believe this, dog. Maybe look like a fool. A fool of my own character. I've been playing it for 3 games. A fool for my own character, dude. It never kills when I do it, but all of a sudden it's like I want to commentate it, and now okay. Gotcha, bro. Understood.
Love that delayed 2H. Oh, and this time ready for that delayed burst. Not going to get away with it again.
Very much so. Yeah. I think they've been doing a great job with not only timing their burst, but not letting the wins get to them, because they know what their win condition is. They know their game plan, and they're playing it very, very effectively.
Yeah, it's really easy, like you said, to kind of get carried away, be like, all right, I got this, and start making sloppy mistakes. Great defense from Spectre blocking that Yuzansen.
Yeah. Mega Fist you can parry as is obvious, but it's harder to do in motion, especially if you're playing how Spectre is and really, really mixing up when you're deciding to use it. That's so unfortunate. Shoot him. Okay, bro. You really are. I think he's listening, actually.
Mega Fist gonna catch her out of that air dash, and Spectre's gonna go up around, fighting for life.
Yo.
I love the
changes to yeah. Oh yes, absolutely. Guilty Gear always. Soundtrack's always amazing.
Charge dust. That's gonna hurt.
Okay. Yeah. Big damage. Oh, instant. Oh yeah, wasn't even ready for that. Couldn't even find the pattern in it because he just did it raw.
And looking for it that time, but not gonna matter. Going low now.
Final battle. Decide the destiny.
Truly, truly fantastic, man.
Gets that throw again. Oh, and there's that parry on the Garuda. Just what you're talking about.
You got to be able to recognize that. It makes Pot. This is why this matchup is so bad for him. While most characters really just have to FD or find different ways around around using Garuda. Yeah, that's biking for you. He's gonna be a lot worse. She doesn't have her command dash anymore.
I love the wake up or the immediate buster. Oh, goes for it again, but it's gonna get gold bursted for it. This is a rough spot.
Tried to bait any sort of movement, which is why they purple RC needed. Nice, good backdash.
Yeah,
was aware of how this went. This might just be game. It's so hard for him to get out of this scenario.
Maybe not.
Oh my goodness. Really?
Oh.
JS the God button. One of the 4 buttons of the apocalypse in this game, bro. It's a good button.
Really important
one of
to be
Pot's
ready
worst
to
deal with.
Yeah, really important to be ready to anti-air. I play not exactly a great matchup either against Biken, and one of the biggest things is knowing she's going to go in with that JS. You got to be ready to anti-air it. But rough spot.
Yeah.
Very well fought by Spectre.
Agreed. One of the things that you have to keep in mind when it comes to Biken as well is really just there is a bit of leniency, if that is a word, to be able to sort of we were talking about the approach. She's got a very, very simple offense. It's effective, but it's simple. You're gonna see the same stuff used. You're gonna see pretty much ID, JS into the late Yozansen to set up for a frame trap or to keep the pressure, and then they're going to always end into Tamigaishi. But the Tamigaishi is minus. So Baiken does lose her turn, which is why the spacing that she's normally at is like not enough to be able to is normally not enough to continue pressure directly.
Yeah, it's almost similar to Chip in that most of his offensive options leave him minus, but it leaves him minus at a spot where he's able to RPS really effectively.
Right.
Oh, no 6H from Wanton.
Okay. Oh, I was surprised he didn't clap. I was expecting to clap.
Yeah, that was
use it.
Yeah, ballsy challenge, but it worked out for Wanton.
Gotta be careful. Yep, here we go. Oh, using the armor instead. I like it. She didn't have time to set up anything else. I do like it. Now you have the armor. You can't really mash out as effectively. Good gold burst, though.
Great challenge there from Hourglass. Recognized that the blood was too high for him to be able to continue pressuring. And now this is a rough spot to be in if you're Wanton.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Went for a far slash there, but wasn't able to get it out in time.
Okay, they're super, super effective with maintaining pressure. She was another Jacko was another character it is that like I dabbled in, but really enjoyed when I played her. Her offense is very, very unique.
Great, gets a punish on that 2P this time. Ready for that Fukio forward though, and the blood's too high. Oh, but they're gonna get the meat.
And got counter hit. Nice, yeah, you can't challenge on that. I know you want to, but Nago especially can.
That is going to be a chunk of damage.
Challenge. Oh, you just play the neutral there. Oh, you could have. Good stuff. Good stuff from Wanton. I was expecting Hourglass to clap, actually. Oh, use the gold burst? If he loses, this is so big.
Oh, thrown out of the Fukio forward.
What did he go for?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Because a lot of Nagos will Fukio forward throw because it beats a lot of jabs. So I have no idea what he was going for there.
Right. I wonder, was it like a 2P or something? Or like, I don't think, maybe he thought that like with the Fukio, he probably did Fukio and then like, which has happened to me before. He probably Fukio'd full and then held back thinking that he would just be out of range for a throw, but got thrown. Because I saw like the punish pop up on the side. So I think he went for a button expecting the range or the spacing to be effective enough.
Yeah. Great 6P denying that aerial approach. Ooh, close slash into the tick throw. That's brutal. And another one. Man. They say strike throw isn't as effective as high-low mix-up, but you watch that and tell me if you think...
Literally. Strike throw, no matter what it is, has always been and always will be a mental game. It just always is. It's always just as effective.
I'm really impressed by Hourglass's awareness of when to challenge with jab and when to challenge with throw. Throwing him out of that Shadow Clone there is really effective and a great tech by Wanton.
Yeah, like at that point it was the only option that they had, but look at this shit. Oh, missed! What an unfortunate turn of events, bro. Wall break. Good stuff. It throws it out, yep, just to get the nice. I like it. Okay, everyone's playing to win tonight, actually. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. This is kind of crazy.
Yeah, the defense from both of them in this match especially has been fantastic.
It's been really good.
Goes for the 6P, but that I think it's JS just hits too low.
It's normally yeah, you're right. JS does hit very, very low for Jacko. This will be wall break as well, so it'll be OQ. What? That doesn't make any sense. Oh my goodness, that had to have been simply one of the most disrespectful things I've seen in a while on a technical sense. That is absolutely minus. That in no way, shape, or form gives her plus frames, even on IAD. And that was absolutely, it had to have been a misinput.
I wonder if, the only way I could explain it is if she thought that, because I think what Wanton was trying to do was backdash a safe jump there. And I wonder if Hourglass was trying to call that out with the kick, but even then, you got better options.
Right.
Yeah.
like to risk it all, truly, because that
Yeah.
had that been any other way, man, I'm telling you that because that, especially in the air, that is not.
Yeah,
That is
and especially
not,
especially against Nago too, because he will steal that round from you. It doesn't matter how much you're up.
yeah, because both of them are minus. On the ground is more minus than in the air, but it's still minus. Actually, I think they're the same in terms of. I think they're both minus 12. I think. I don't know. The frame advantage gets less when you kick a minion. That's about it. Like it's minus 6 instead of minus 12 is what I think it is. I think that's the case.
These just blocks from
Nice.
Wanton have been phenomenal.
You have to against this character. You gotta pull her in, even if it's like a little bit, make her less advantageous than like the normal.
Ready for that Fukio forward.
Bro. Nice, good burst. I respect it.
Hourglass was looking for it too. So delaying it there, yeah, really crucial. Nice backdash.
Okay, so that is what Wanton's been trying to do. That's why he's been getting thrown every time. He's been Fukio 4ing in 2K. That's what's been happening. He's been hitting a button when he thinks that he's like right out of the range of it. He's been hitting 2K a lot. Wow, that is interesting. Getting the command grab, but not nice. Good
What
awareness.
a clean sequence. Yeah, what a clean
Cancel-
sequence from Wanton.
Absolutely, 110% agree. Cancel the startup of his move as well, just to get purple RC. Really well done. Yeah, that has to be okay. Yeah, I was about to say like you have to mash during that, and they did. That's why they purple RC. Hourglass. 2K 2D special with Jacko said.
Yeah.
She like hugs the ground.
Oh yeah, the low profile on it is simply ridiculous. Even on just her default like crouching animation.
Yeah, goes over a lot.
You saw
goes
that
under
far
a
slash
lot.
go right over it. Yeah.
Oh, I like. Okay. That's a bit fancy. I like that. The jump back and forces them to clap, trying to see if they get anything, mixing it up even a little bit, even though it's the same sort of premise of like the minions do the pressure for you.
Holding on to that burst till the last possible second and waiting until that
she's dead.
wait, but he's gonna pop!
Oh
living.
my god! And this. Okay, I was gonna say earlier, after the burst. Good awareness that if he hit a button, if he won after that burst, that Wanton was going to be insane. 1. 2, he does turn out to be insane. But what's even crazier is like the 6P attempt being a few frames too late off of the 5H. Because Jacko, because Hourglass Smash did 6P immediately as soon as 5H came out. And she got hit. She did it too early. I mean, too late.
Yeah, just barely. Mashing on 5H is, or 6P on 5H is a little rough anyways, because it's so disjointed that, worst case scenario, it clashes, and then you can just cancel straight into the Blood Rage super.
You're right. That is correct. I was just thinking that like Hourglass was probably like banking on the fact that like whatever situation would be better than just taking a 5H.
Absolutely.
I think that's what their process was a little bit. Oh, cancel a little bit too
nobody
early,
wants to hold
actually.
that. I like the RC, just make sure if a burst does come out, you're staying safe from it, make sure you get the kill.
Decide the destiny.
Okay. Try to go for
Ready
command
for
grab. I like the IAD back to confirm like the punish on the missed command grab as well. Nice, yeah. Now go pressure. Hit that wall.
Not quite enough.
Oh, I like the attempt, but it traded. I wonder what she did. I don't think it could have.
I think it was 2P.
Really? Yeah, I'll have to
I think
rewatch
so.
that later.
She had her head turned.
Definitely have to rewatch that.
Wanda doing a nice job killing these minions.
Oh, I'm liking the movement, and I'm liking the change here from Hourglass. You don't have any meter, but you do have lots of pressure.
Nice, going for the grab earlier that time. Another one. Looking for a button, but that low profile.
Yeah, literally. Oh, so unfortunate. I actually really like the Fukio back 5H. If it was anybody else, it probably would have hit, but it's just because she did 2K.
Yep.
2K 2D. It squishes her hurt box even further down, which is insanity to me.
It puts her like as low as stroke to victory. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Which is like crazy because it doesn't like all of this is just her crouching or even her like down backing in some scenarios, so it's not as risky as stroke the victory is. Like
exactly. She's got a hurt box. She's got a hitbox in front of her, especially like with 2K 2D. She puts a hitbox in front of her immediately, and 2D like that's an advancing hitbox. Crazy button.
Yeah, that is and what's insane about that 2K 2D as well as like. What's insane about the 2K 2D as well is like the aspect of like it being cancelable, like special cancelable is what makes it so oppressive. She's low to the ground, she low profiles a lot of normals, and she's hitting 2K 2D, and you're probably getting smacked for it. Like it's kind of insane.
Absolutely, and that's exactly why, like you were saying, FDing her. Sorry, excuse me, instant blocking her buttons is so important to try and pull her in, punish her for going for a kick, right? I think there's a little gap there that you can throw.
Very great matches. Great matches. Okay.
Sweet.
Okay. Winners quarters it is. It'll be a very, very interesting match as these players come up on screen eventually. They're still making sure that they get into the lobby and everything of the sort. But from the matches we've seen so far, definitely, like I said it before, everyone's like here to play. Like I'm actually impressed by like the quick. This is like some of the quickest adaptation I've seen in a bit to see who can win. Like to because they're definitely here to play today. They're definitely here to pop off.
Yeah, there was a beautiful moment in that last set where Wanton, you could tell that he recognized that they were getting thrown out of that Fukio forward a lot, and they did it from a range and did a little step back afterwards, waited for Jacko to whiff the throw, and punished for it. And that is beautiful. That's what it's all about, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's like it's crazy because of the fact that like that they're so. Like just the awareness that we've seen from some of the players so far is like just talk about like a couple of specific scenarios. I mean, even towards the end of like Baiken versus Potemkin, we saw a lot of still like that JS Yozansen being used a little bit more delayed, and even still pretty much the only adaptation that Potemkin was really doing or effectively doing, I would say, is making sure that they obviously continue to mix up their burst timings, as well as like effectively using Mega Fist a little bit more. More. It wasn't like as like something that we could see as like openly, but it was enough to be like, oh, okay, I see. He's trying to snipe out a lot of her like grounded buttons or stop her from approaching. Because I've tried it before, but like run up parry is actually kind of like difficult to do effectively.
Oh, absolutely.
Realize, depending on what you're trying to parry.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of those interactions with Mega Fist, that's something that I've been. You could tell that. Who was that? You could tell that Potemkin was very cognizant of the fact that Mega Fist is minus on both hit and block, and was kind of would use it and then just kind of held off. And Baiken in that situation was not challenging. And that's a rough situation when you know you're minus. Because you're kind of ingrained to like, I'm not going to press, I have to hold this, I have to respect the frame data. If your opponent's not doing anything about it, you got to keep going in.
Yeah, but it's also the aspect of like him waiting because he wants to see as well how Bike is going to react, because you have to keep in mind for that parry, and even still Baiken on the other side of that also has to be worried about, okay, what am I going to get smacked with? Because we didn't see either of them really use 6Ps a lot in the neutral, like rarely at all. We saw one 6P, and that was during Baiken trying to throw her chain, and Potemkin preemptively 6P, so the chain went through him. But that was the only time it was that I saw during that match where they where a 6P had really been thrown out. You don't see it as effective in neutral, but that's because like Potemkin's isn't as good to use in neutral. It's like strictly an anti-air based off of the hitbox and like the positioning of how Potemkin is in there. But even still, Viking wasn't using a lot of those either. And I think that's because a lot of the aggression and the mind game was based off of that JS and based off of Yozansen. Because that's a lot of how they got like the confirms, and of course you'd be like, well, of course it's a mix, right? You're in a situation where you want to be concerned about that, but still, the amount of times that it was used was definitely like, okay, I recognize what this weakness is on my opponent's behalf, and that's what I'm going to do. Same thing for Bot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing as well for like the adaptation for Nago versus Jacko too. Like that, the small decisions were what really stood out to me there.
Yeah, I completely agree, and that's really what it comes down to. I think, especially as far as like defensive adaptations, you know, in a game like this where offense is so oppressive, damage is so high, what really kind of separates the wheat from the chaff is how you're able to adapt on defense and how you're able to hold a block string. And that set really epitomized that from both players.
And Wanton's pressure is not pressure, but his defense, excuse me, as well, was very, very effective. I did crack often, saw counter hits, but not in the traditional sense of I'm trying to hit a button in the corner, more so just getting like sort of getting caught off guard by 2K 2D, or even just 2D, or just Jacko's low hurt box in general.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely, like you're saying, not what I do when I'm in the corner against Jacko, which is, oh God, get me the hell out of here. I got to press something, you know?
Yeah, right. What's crazy as well is like the usage of FD is something that's even more interesting against Baiken, because of the fact that like Baiken's still like, you pushing Baiken out is sort of effective. She doesn't have a lot of long reaching buttons. She's not really one of those like Dalsum-esque characters, right, where their buttons reach so unbelievably far that it's something you have to be worried about from mid or half screen, unless it's like JS, right? But
2H,
you're not really going to
very risky.
2H as well. Like especially from the distance that it's at, it's like it's so punishable. I think without special cancel, I think it's like -16. It's actually like so unbelievably punishable. It's insane. Most characters in the cast can get a big punish off of that, which is why every time you see it, it's canceled into like Tatami Gaishi, which is that's a given. You're going to see people use Tatami Gaishi pretty much on every reasonable opportunity they have, like coming in from JH. Sorry, not JH, but coming in from JS. Into Yozansen, you land on the ground, and then you continue pressure into Tatami Gaishi, even though it's minus. But like you said, it does remind me of Chip, and I think that's a wonderful comparison, because it does space them out like effectively to not be too harshly punished by it.
Right. I would say, but this patch kind of changed things, May also functions in a similar way with S Dolphin, although maybe even more so now, in the sense that for her, especially with the buffs to the frame data of that move, the RPS of what she can do after the Dolphin is blocked, even though it's still, I think it's 0 now, actually, but no, I can't remember. The RPS of what she can do after that. Yeah, S Dolphin.
That's a good point. I actually don't know. I'm not sure what that is now either.
It might be -2.
I know they did buff.
I'm pulling up Dust. Yeah.
Yeah, so
but anyway.
I already was ahead of you. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's that same thing of where, even though let's say it's minus, the RPS is so wildly in her favor of the amount of options that she can take and what you need to adapt to as a defender.
It's -3.
-3, yeah.
Yeah. Which is like, but like you see, like, even still, it doesn't change what you mostly see from May, which is S Dolphin into backdash, right? Because her movement's so fast. She's so fast. Her backdash is really, really good, and she's very effective at getting herself the hell out of there. Like, if there's ever a situation where she has like, where she's using Tozugeki.
You're fine. We're chilling.
Okay. Yeah, a bit of some technical difficulties for the time being, or they're working on some technical issues, I should say, but we still are looking pretty good on time. Things are going pretty well, honestly, in terms of the tournament. But I do want to get back to what I was saying before about Horizontal Dolphin. -3. is still like you're not going to see much change from her in terms of how she approaches things. She's going to use like Totsugeki, and then she's going to backdash and whatever, right? Like that, like that's how that is. So a lot of it comes, and that's like also like part of a mix too. Is like the aspect of like Totsugeki and then backdash. Is she going to backdash again, or are you going to get hit, counter hit this time by trying to run forward and catch her on her backdash?
Bingo. Yep. Very similar RPS from Eno after a blocked stroke the big tree, specifically the H versions, -2.
Yeah.
Most Enos will backdash, and a lot of people will adapt to that by trying to run forward. Hey, you know,
I'm so sorry they did that to you, actually.
I can't say this on camera or the Eno Nation is going to come down on me. It's not that bad. I mean, it's a little bit rough. It depends on the characters, right? If they've got fast enough buttons, yeah, it can be tough. But in most matchups, like that backdash there, or right, if they expect you to backdash exactly like you're saying, being like, no, I'm going to throw out 2K2D, and now now it's over.
Right.
It's a very similar mind game, which honestly I prefer instead of just, all right, well, I'm just going to hit H stroke every chance I get because I'm plus and screw you, you know?
Right, but it's like even with so like you had situations where you would use like stroke the big tree, and it used to be plus like heavy stroke the big tree used to be plus, but you are correct, you still have like the same sort of like game plan, but I could see how you would think that there's like really not much it is that's like changed about it, because you use like heavy stroke the big tree, and you're in a situation where it's like, okay, I'm either going to get thrown out of this because somebody's recognized that this is taking a little bit too long, or it's either going to be like stuffed in some way, shape, or form. Because heavy stroke of the big tree was like this. That's actually a really, really good comparison. Not like now that you mention it, is that like both May and Eno have like the same sort of like game plan, a little bit of the same game plan. Like it's the same thing of like, okay, I have a minus move that's great at granting me knockdowns and granting me like mix potential, and allows me to continue my pressure. But since I know it's minus, my only option is backdash in hopes to get the opponent to do more than just that, so I can open up my other tools. Like that's
Absolutely.
how that is.
And very similar in the sense that like this is like a pretty good tool for gaining space, for putting me in their face, starting that mix-up opportunity. But if they're ready for it, it's got, I think Maze is a little bit faster, but if they're ready for it, it's going to get stuffed anyway, so I can't rely on this.
Right, yeah. No, like that's completely understandable. Like that's what makes it like super interesting, is that like while you have like similarities, like there's still so many different ways it is that like you can play them, even though like the overall, like I think like if you stick to something like a flowchart, let's say like you're playing like online, you're not necessarily like playing in tournament and things like that, you stick to more of like a flowchart sort of perspective, then it's like, of course you're going to be in a situation where where people think that like, okay, well, like most of the time, depending on what it is, people are going to play the same, or some characters play the same. There's not enough depth. But it always, no matter what game it is you look at, it is always the players and it is always the players that take it to the next level when it comes to understanding how some of these tools and everything are used. I am like unbelievably like impressed with people that still stick with Eno. I got to be honest with you. I think that character she is far flung from where she used to be, and I
dog asked, yeah.
Shout outs to you. Shout outs to everybody.
Yeah, it's a bit of a struggle. To be honest, the biggest issue is just the matchup spread. I'm not going to complain about Eno too much, but the matchup spread is scary. But it's still, I mean, hey, we just saw Daru at Evo Japan. What is it? A 9-1 matchup? That's what people say? Yep. Unwinnable?
You're right.
Clearly not.
You're right.
It's unwinnable when I play it, but not when Daru does.
Right, exactly. Exactly, yep. That is entirely understandable. It's interesting too, because we talk about situations that like involve like that we involve some of these characters where things like don't seem as effective because they aren't a part of like the usual suspects. But that's what people thought with Gold Lewis for such a long time, until he won Red Bull Kumite, and then it was like, what? It was like, huh? Yeah, I started smoking everybody, and that's like the same thing I see like earlier when I mentioned that like Twitter sort of does the same thing, where it's like they'll talk about Bedman, right? And about how like Bedman doesn't seem like as strong or as effective, but I absolutely see the potential there. There's people it is that I've been seeing that have been using close S and then instant air jumping and then popping the error that comes from like the spinning blade, like the Beyblade move, and they're leading into like a high-low mix-up with that. I got hit
Yeah.
with that like a couple times the other day, and I was like, "Oh, that is sick! Like that is actually super impressive that people figure that out." Because I didn't even think about that. I was like, that wasn't even something I had even considered. Was like a
No, yeah.
genuine option.
Yeah, the stuff he gets, and I think as it develops, it's very easy to be like. I saw some clips of Gobo, basically playing him like Gold Lewis, going for a lot of guard crush setups. But I think as Bedman, as it develops, Bedman, you're going to see a lot of that. Close slash into a jump cancel because that 8-way air dash in particular, he's got insane fuzzy setups, cross ups with JD. Yeah, this character, I'm any DLC the character that comes out, even Sin, they're gonna buff him. All these characters are gonna be menaces.
Yeah. Yeah, that was very, very much so true. Yeah, I agree. It just comes with time. It comes with time and patience, and you start figuring things out as things goes along, as things go along, and it's super interesting to be able to see that too, because it's like you see how sort of meta and things shift as time goes on. It's like even like the first. I genuinely believe that like the first 3 months are not indicative enough to know a character's full strength.
Absolutely.
I think it takes at least 6 months to possibly even a year, because that's how long it took with Go Lewis. Like people like realizing like once they got like the Behemoth Typhoons down, like how to effectively like utilize what he had. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. And now you see, I mean, the adaptation from Gold Lewis players continues. I mean, you've got people like Backpack who have the really nasty BRCs that lead into wall slumps. People figuring out how to do some of the more difficult behemoths without having to press a button beforehand, just raws that normally would put you airborne. Yeah, that character's nasty, and it seems like every time I fight Gold Lewis players, they're just taking him to another level.
Yeah. It's interesting because it's like that's how you like know the mark of like, even though like it's a struggle for that character a lot of the time, I think it is a mark of a good character when your option to stop him is by interrupting one of his like slower moves. It like reminds me a lot of like how people deal with like Garuda, which is like, or like the introduction of how you think people would deal with Garuda, which is like, it's slow, you could mash on it if you wanted to, even off of the cancel and blah blah blah. That's sort of how it leads into with like Gold Lewis, is that you see a lot of his slower Behemoth Typhoons, you have to mash, because if not, then he gets more plus frames, and then you're dealing with a situation where you're more than likely going to get chipped out. And I think that's very interesting how that itself has evolved over time. It's just seeing more
100%.
and more characters, like more and more characters being brought into the limelight, and that comes with longevity of a game and like consistency of a game as well.
Yeah. Seeing that adaptation, I fully agree that like, especially like the day the character comes out, I'm not looking at Twitter. I don't care what these people have to say. Like, it's going to take a while before they get there.
It does.
Yeah, I agree completely also about the strength of a character like that, where like you can't jump out of the corner against Gold Lewis. Essentially, you are forced to challenge one of those, and if you guess wrong, goodbye. It's over.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Okay, we are going to swap over to a different match. The technical issues are still being sorted out, but we will have something on the screen for you here soon. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the conversation that has already been given between the two of us, because I think it is very important and interesting to know and explain a variety of different things of the aspect of a game it is that we all love, which is why we are all here watching and commentating the stuff it is that we like to see.
Absolutely. So in a couple minutes here, we'll get Taliesin and Cristiano on stream, and we'll see what they've got for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'll be I'm interested. So far we've seen Jacko, Nago, Baiken, Potemkin. And I'm interested to see how many other characters we see. Are we going to see some of the same? What's interesting is that despite watching a lot of these digital Havocs, it almost feels like a gentleman's rule, even though I don't know this for sure, obviously. I'm not saying this is like the case. I was like, it feels like a gentleman's rule because of the fact that, like, I don't ever really see Happy Chaos. Please don't show Happy Chaos.
Let's go.
Sorry.
Please don't.
I'm going to put that out in the universe. Okay, so it's going to be a mirror match, actually. I hate that. Absolutely hate that. I hope it's not a Happy Chaos mirror match. It's a Giovanna mirror match. Oh! That's awesome.
Time for footsies.
Absolutely. Footsy's the character. Gio feels like at times where it's like when she's fighting other characters, it feels like she can't. It kind of sucks seeing like how she has to fight the other characters in this game, where they feel like they have a little bit more tools than she does.
Oh yeah, I think arguably, she doesn't have stuff like stun edge. Probably the most honest character in the game, but that step dash makes up for it.
Yeah. For sure, yeah. Best strike throw in the game, for sure. Very, very hard to deal that. I found that out the other day, too. You can actually 6P that. You don't have to actually...
Yeah.
Yeah, you can 6P through that and her drill.
There is a way that she can set it up so that it frame traps 6Ps, but it's pretty tight. Normally swinging on 6P is... that's definitely something that Giovannas have to learn to work around.
Great mix as well from Cristiano. Breaks the wall and manages to get the Oki set up. It's going to be, I'm assuming, right side here. Oh, I thought they were
chasing down that backdash.
So you mentioned you mentioned the speed. You mentioned the dashes, and that's like example number one. Like that's such a crazy dash, actually.
Yeah,
so
giving her that ability to cancel it or to block out of it. We actually saw at one point. I can't remember which Geo did it, but there was a 2S that was followed by another 2S out of a dash cancel. Well, not a cancel, but out of a dash. And it's insane to see because it's the same 2S, but she's just sliding a little bit along the ground as she does it.
Right. It gives it further reach. That 2D, nothing to snuff at, nothing to like cough at either or sneeze at either. It's kind of, it's a very far-reaching button and something it is I think Geo does very, very well.
Yeah, maybe one of...
there it is.
Right there, yep. Maybe one of the best neutral buttons in the game. Goes for 6P there, but it gets frame trapped.
Nice. Pick that wall. Get more of the meter.
Taliesin sitting on a full stick of butter. Let's see what they can do with it. That should close it out. And Geo also... Go ahead.
Go ahead. No. I was actually curious. I think we're going to say the same thing.
I was going to say, she is not lacking in damage.
Yeah. Which is, interesting, because if you think a character that, prioritizes, footsies with Havoc a lot, shorter combos, not as big damage either, but she brings it. She brings it. I think her damage is a bit low compared to some of the other characters, though, which is why I think she's not as seen as often as some of the other characters. Had that comboed, I would have lost my mind. I was like, I've never seen somebody 2K to pick it up.
Ooh, win for a high-low mix there.
KO.
Yeah, and that can be rough with those fast RC cancels because the speed of the input that it requires, it's pretty difficult to hit confirm because you're already so focused on making sure you get that window tight.
Yeah. Agreed. I think that it's interesting to see Geo whenever I possibly can because it's not, you don't see her as often. I don't see her as often.
Especially not in the States.
Right, yeah, no.
Battle 1. Decide the destiny.
First thing immediately does not want to hold this in the corner.
The plus damage. The run cancel. Oh, no super. Instead just goes for the normal break.
Chooses to hold on to the meter, which is something that I've been seeing Geo's doing quite a bit these days.
She gets faster the more meter that she has, right? That mechanic to me has always been unclear.
She gets more defense. I think maybe more attack? I don't quite remember. I know that when she has full tension, she has as much defense as Potemkin and Nago.
Interesting.
Or full tensions, excuse me. I don't know if I said that.
For what it is that I'm reading on Dustloop right now, her defense rating does indeed chip, but her normal start chipping and she gets more damage.
Interesting. I did not know that her normal started chipping.
Neither did I. Yeah, every normal attack begins dealing 12% chip at half tension, which strengthens to 25% at full tension.
I loved that run-up throw there by Cristiano after blocking the 236K. Knowing that most Geos are going to sit there, recognize that it's minus, and kind of hold that.
Right.
Forces them to make a different decision. Spiral arrow going straight over that 2D.
Minus again, backdash, same as before. Another character. Like, even though it doesn't send her as far forward, but another character when we're talking about the I'm minus so I have to backdash sort of perspective, and it puts her at a good distance anyway.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. Those throw whiffs are scary, man. Any situation like that where both characters choose right and just the frames are a little bit off, yeah, that always terrifies me.
Agreed. Yeah, Geo's very, very scary because I think, like, I think it's interesting to be able to see this type of stuff because it can provide some actually scary mix-ups and super scary pressure on behalf of on behalf of Geo because of how fast she is. That dash is like, if she had any button that was like bigger and not as slow as 2D was, or like about the same size as 2D was, she'd be a menace.
Oh yeah, that and 5H are definitely 5H not quite as much as 2D, but it's scary. Round start 5H is pretty hard to deal with anything other than a 6B.
Very much. Agree.
Oh, nice. The burst is going to come out, deny the super.
Okay. Nice.
And again, that yeah, that spiral arrow going over the 2D.
Well, I thought that would have killed actually.
I'm pretty surprised, but that will.
Battle 2. Decide the destiny.
Oh,
nice 5P
confirm up that 5P.
Mm-hmm.
Meaty. Still keeping
yeah, I love that that OTG setup to get the plus frames from the spiral arrow. Great block on the cross up.
And I also like the idea that Cristiano had, which was getting as much usage out of that small bit of meter they had as possible, because they weren't always using FD. They were they were timing FD with how she was hitting. Great, that he had time for that.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Actually.
Insane reflexes. Yeah,
I did not think they had time for that. Actually, like genuinely,
yeah,
I thought they didn't have time to be able to do that.
And that's going to be Cristiano taking it 3-1.
Mm-hmm. Well played.
Boys,
gotta love
a lot
seeing
of people.
A good. Mm-hmm. Oh, I was just saying, just like seeing a good Geo mirror match.
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to say pretty much the same thing. Players tend to not enjoy the mirror, from what I've experienced, but watching it, it's very interesting to see two people who know exactly what a character is looking for, exactly what they can do, putting those people against each other and having them duke it out with the same tool set. I always think it's a blast.
It is, because you see like how each player adapts differently in a mirror match. Like it's kind of interesting because that's not something that people would like to bring up, because it's like, oh well, I don't like mirror matches, which is true, because genuinely, who does like mirror matches? But it's interesting to see, like, you start to I think you see more depth with a character when you look at like high level player tournament play like this, when you look at a mirror match, because you're seeing how small you're seeing the answers for things that you may not have known there were answers for. Or you may be seeing how each player adapts, or what minute thing they may know about the character to be able to continue their pressure, and that's what's super interesting here. Oh
and
no!
Here he is.
Okay.
If anyone can do it, though, I have seen in these tournaments Danny take down a number of Happy Chaoses.
I hear you. I believe that.
I like that. Keeping the corner, does not want to go back to neutral against this character. Flying right over that 6P.
Nice. He's doing a good job with using those projectiles to sort of force, like, to control space, not necessarily to control space, not necessarily looking for any particular hit, but just to, like, stop their advance.
Yeah, and to keep them in the corner as well. Oh, what a tech on the tick throw, and Danny not are seeing out of these scum dippers.
It's gonna be one of the matches Squid so far takes it.
Chasing down that curse throw, really important in this matchup. And jumping over it. Yeah, Danny's understanding of the space here is clearly something that he's worked on.
Yeah, agreed. Good job breaking the wall.
Goes for the air throw, but a little too high. Yeah, and something about Danny that always impresses me when I watch him is the way that he controls space in the air as well.
KO. Final
Nice.
battle.
Yeah.
Decide the
Good job on the confirm about the counter hit 6H, I believe.
Little bit of a drop. That 5K coming out just too late and hitting OTG. What a block on the roll. That shit is unblockable. That's always impressive to see that.
Yeah, it's really hard to see. It's really hard to see Colin. That man's getting blipped. Such is the truth.
Curse is off.
The curse ran out. Nice chase.
Chasing that jump. Blocks the
knew
burst
exactly
with the RC.
when to RC. Well done, Danny. Well done.
Surgical.
Very much so surgical.
Yeah, Danny's so fun to watch.
I agree. Their Kai is very, very active.
Oh, yeah. Never stop, just go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting because, like, it's interesting because of something like, so you see Kai and people that play Kai super actively is always interesting to watch because you are in a situation where this character that seems sort of like cut and dry becomes one of the most active and some of the coolest one of the coolest characters to watch in the like just like in the world. Like I think Kai is super cool in this game. Actually, of course, my favorite iteration of him, but I think this version of Kai is super sick.
Yeah, I used to play Kai in Accent Core.
Mm-hmm.
Meter being forced out by both characters there, and Squidge is going to take it by just a hair. Ooh, just out of range for that 5D.
No miss. Good 6P. Puts the curse back on as well. Doesn't have any of that focus gauge.
Again, out of range, but it doesn't matter. Gun makes it safe.
Oh! Yeah. I also would have DP'd. I thought it would have taken a while to recover as well. From 6S.
Nah, this character's frame data is crazy.
Of course it is. Because why not? He's already got a gun. Why
He
not
needs
give
it.
him more? He needs it. Good shot. Curse applied. Now we know what game we're playing. Play Call of Duty.
I like the safe jump there from Squidge Luke, but that backdash stun dipper is just as scary as the DP.
That dash cancel change gave Kai so many combo routes, man.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Huge block on that tap dust.
Just holding FD, that's fair.
Mm-hmm. And recognizing, too, that 6H wasn't going to hit because of it and taking his turn back.
Mm-hmm.
No meter to convert off that stun dipper, and another one will close it.
final battle.
They're actually trying to snipe the timing of the curse. The curse. There we go. They're trying to snipe the timing of the curse. What's up?
The reactions there on that tap dust, knowing that there's going to be a gap that he can DP out of. And again, not canceling off of the stun dipper. I'm not sure what his thought process is there. Maybe saving it for that.
Oh,
just catches that air back dash.
Set up. Nice. Yeah, this is going to be tough here.
Absolutely. With combo to go.
Yeah, it's Kai's sick. Kai came a long way from when this game first started. Kai used to be a lot worse, but they I think they balanced and gave him a couple changes as well. I think he could still use a few more, but I mean, hey, what he has isn't too bad. That dash cancel really did give him a lot of combo opportunities and routes that he normally would not have had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the dash cancel buffs in general were, for a lot of characters, really impactful. I mean, you see characters like Gold Lewis using it to Kara cancel some of those behemoths, Soul using it to Kara cancel into Volcanic Viper for his combo routes. It definitely opened the game up in a way that is really welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Even Testament can use it. Mm-hmm. Even Testament can use it.
Testament does use it.
Fireball. Yeah.
Curse.
I love run-up DP on the curse. You know he's going to be pressing.
Yeah, literally. And good patience from Danny.
You can just tell that Danny knows this matchup like the back of his hand.
Yeah, like they have played this enough. It's looking for the snipes. Yeah, they definitely know this matchup. That's like the second time I've seen them tech that like throw from that scenario.
Mm-hmm. And this is set point for Danny. Strive moment.
Strive Gaming. Still waiting for the time being. Okay. Strive doing what Strive does. Okay.
Yeah.
For the moment, it seems like something's wrong with the lobby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be a spectator mode thing. Could be the game. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. Could be truly anything. But even still,
they could be in the heat of battle.
It's true. I'm not sure. Could be a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, just going back while we're waiting to, there was an interaction there that was really cool to me where Kai's sitting on 100 meter and there's not much, unless the curse is on, that Squidgloop can do there except for look for Stun Dipper. So he's blocking low, anticipating that, and Danny realizes that and goes for an overhead instead. And I think that those, it's exactly like you were saying, that on-the-fly adaptation, really impressive. And Danny just kind of looking dominant in this matchup.
Agreed. Yeah, I think that Danny has been doing not only a great job of learning when to, not learning, but like challenging at the appropriate times. I love the run up stun. I love the run up DP that they did because, like you said, their curse is already applied, so you know something's coming. You know they're not blocking for something. And then secondly, it was also the run up stun dipper as well. That was also pretty cool. To like go under the curse as well as like knowing like what spacing to try to look for. It was sick. I do enjoy seeing that type of play and just seeing seeing players that are seasoned with certain matchups. They have the experience behind it as well.
Yeah, and this one is definitely a matchup that you need to know. Learning how to deal with Happy Chaos is very important, especially for characters in the North American scene. I believe Squidgloop actually used to play Kai, so I wonder if experiencing this fight against Danny is awakens any old feelings in him.
Yeah, I'm wondering too. Actually, that would be super super interesting to know because then it would open up like potentially how we've been seeing. Well, really, I would say that like the way how Squidge was playing didn't really seem anything too different than what we would normally see from most Happy Chaoses. I was trying to like think if there was like anything that sort of like stood out to me in terms of like their gameplay and things like that. I think they did a great job with like some of their mix-ups and things like that. But Danny was just aware at all times too, and that's what made it super hard for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and really in every state of the game, right? Offense, defense, neutral, just clearly understands on like a deep integral level what to look for, what Happy Chaos wants to do. And I think this is what you're saying, right? It's interesting to see if Luke has the same awareness being a former Kai player themselves and knowing what this character is looking for.
Mm-hmm. I think that I think that like stands like the testament of time. Just understanding as time goes on. How am I going to approach this matchup? This is a character I'm going to see a lot. What am I going to get used to? And sometimes it takes a lot of getting your butt whooped to understand things as well. So it's interesting. I'm a big fan to see how like things just continue as time goes on.
Yeah, these days I get on the game. I just go into tower. I look for Bikins and Happy Chaoses. I go like 2 and 25. My elo drops a good like 150 points, and I go, all right. I think maybe I learned something.
Most of the time, I've been spending recently has been trying to learn like more stuff with Bedman. We haven't seen a single Bedman today, but I also think once again people are just playing to make sure that they can playing to win more than anything.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I entered a couple brackets last week, and it's you go up against people who you fought before, and you see they're playing Bedman, and there's predominantly I'm like, hey, good for you, right? Like, give them a shot, see what you can do, and then in the back of my mind, I'm like, I want to win. I ain't playing Bedman.
Bedman's super cool. I actually like how they changed him or changed them. I guess it. Changed it in this more recent iteration.
Yeah, he's super interesting. Still retaining some of that stuff. Like, I have been struggling to anti-air this character, which was definitely a thing in Xrd. But yeah, giving him some of that, without the kind of retaining some of his ability to zone instead of the head toss. Now you've got the projectile and the air follow up, and really his offense becoming a little bit terrifying.
Agreed. Very much so. Agreed. I think it'll.
Gotcha.
Okay. That's on Cristiano is what we're coming up to now. So it's going to be the Hourglass was Jacko, were they not? Jacko versus Giovanna.
Yes, that was this will be Jacko versus Giovanna. I think this will be an interesting. I've not seen a lot of Giovanna versus Jacko, but as far as what you need to look out for fighting Jacko, the ability to kill the minions at mid screen and close distance, and Giovanna's frame data, I feel, is 4-frame jab, a lot of light non-committal buttons that extend a good range in front of them. I feel like the Gio should be equipped with everything that they need to take on this character.
Yeah, this will be interesting seeing a lot of these like approaching matchups as well. Like we've this, even though we've seen some amazing sets today, this has been an overall pretty quick bracket. The matches have been going by pretty fast actually. Everyone's been playing their hearts out tonight, so it'll be super interesting to see that.
Oh yeah. One thing I'm looking forward to seeing in this matchup is, and I'm not sure if we'll see it, but I'm wondering how Spiral Arrow from Geo would interact with the minion toss. I know that Eno's like H-dive that sends her vertically is a really good tool for dealing with that because it's not a projectile, so the minions aren't vulnerable to it. And I wonder if the same thing happens with the Spiral Arrow.
Yeah, that would be super interesting. Yeah, so like I think this actually might not be the best for Giovanna. I think. Because the thing is that normally, depending on what move it is, like for example, let's say that Jacko throws out one of her minions and Nago's catching it with a 5H, that it normally extends the active frames of a move depending on when it hits the minion. But with Geo, I don't think that's going to be the case. This is like a situation where it's like it can sort of stall her forward momentum as well. You have to be very cautious when it comes to these type of fights. Which is why the burst was used so early from Cristiano.
Ready for that tech after the dash cancel.
My 2K2B's better. Wow. Yep.
I love that. Pulling right in their face kind of encourages them to go, they're not pressing a button. It's time for me to do something. And then you catch them out of that option.
Hourglass so far. I also like the usage to be able to. I also like the usage to be able to. Wow, good throw. This is
Yeah,
the second.
Cristiano's
So far,
gone.
this is the second time that somebody has tried to approach Hourglass and just got thrown out of their stuff. Like
Yeah,
we saw that earlier with the Nago match.
Yeah, their challenges on defense are just really solid, and we're gonna have to see how Cristiano can adapt to that. Nice stuff on the 6P, and also good on Cristiano to not press a button, knows that that's going to be contested.
Good delay on the burst
And
as well.
thrown out again!
5D.
5D's gonna connect, that'll kill.
Now make sure you mix things up just enough. I like Cristiano, once again, not bursting immediately when we see them jump, but instead taking their time, bursting as soon as they hit the ground and try and gain that distance again. But this is like the issue that I was thinking of, is that Gio doesn't really have a DP. She has her super, but that's 50% meter. And as we were seeing earlier, that's not something that Geos really like to use because it puts them in a precarious position. Now I have to be worried about if I need to YRC, I can't do it anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, or if I want to use it in neutral for a mix, or sorry, not in neutral, on offense for a mix. Yeah, definitely a resource that they want to hold on to.
Yeah, because it's like she doesn't have any other reversal, so that meter becomes more of a more of like a safety hazard than anything.
Now on jump-ins like that, Gio does have the upper body invulnerable DP, but which I think might have beaten there, but that's also something that you can't be as reckless with as something like Volcanic Viper or Vapor Thrust.
Yeah, the reason as well, like why I was imagining that like it's not as great jump back, found their way out. You always have to have 2 minions up if you're going to continue that block string from that super, and they get the knockdown. Jacko has no HP, so this is going to hurt big time.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's even.
Will be it. Good bait.
Great adjustment. Yeah, that's exactly what we needed to see from Cristiano there. Knows that they're looking to throw him out of that. Minion's gonna clip and the burst too high.
No.
Tell really wanted that round.
They thought. Yeah.
Yep. I love that round start option. Especially since we know that Jacko's low profile options are so strong. And again, baiting it.
HP gone.
Haha.
Into a mix.
Still throwing
Again.
though. I think Cristiano was counting on the idea that they were going to be conditioned
This is going to
stop.
suck. Yep, I already knew that was coming. Because the reason why you have to be so careful about YRCing that is because of the fact that, like, you're not YRCing her most of the time, you're YRCing her minions. The minions are putting you in block stun. She's the one that's normally free. Why is that? Is there some secret tech I don't know about that? Why do they keep doing that?
Maybe
That's like super minus, is it not?
It must be plus? I don't know.
Hold on.
I
This
really don't know.
Sorry, chat. Y'all came to see a show, but this is information I need right now. I have to pull up the dust loop.
Yeah, if there's any Jacko players in the chat, let us know.
Yeah, please tell us, because I cannot. That is so unbelievably minus. Is that really that plus? There's no way. Because I've seen that this has been happened more than once. And even though it happened on, I believe, the first game of like the second round, that she still, like, after like a wall break, she still jumped up and did it. She just jumped up straight up in the air and did it. I think that was a missed input, but come on now. There has to be
That's clearly their go-to. Ate it.
Okay.
Right 6P. Another burst too high. So this is a Canadian tournament?
It's the minions, man. It's the little dudes. Little dudes are popping off. They're saving mama. They're saving mother.
Doing their job.
Purple RC because they thought they were probably going to challenge off of the missed 5H, but they said they didn't. They kept the patience. Okay, now this is going to be bad for Jacko. Okay, was aware. Was definitely ready for that backdash that time.
KO.
Seeing the adjustment, knowing they're trying to bait that throw.
Decide the destiny.
Love the run-up, like we were talking about, right? Those moves that leave you slightly minus chasing that. And that's something that Cristiano's going to want to look out for in the future, knowing that, all right, I might be able to push my luck.
So this is the stuff about this character that is like so unfortunate. The amount of times we've seen Cristiano call out Hourglass for trying to throw, but the rounds still going to Hourglass are so unfortunate because while it's cool and you may have the knockdown, Gio really doesn't have much. Like, she's got a couple moves that she can rely on, and her stagger pressure, and she has like the best strike going. But there's not much she can be able to rely on when it comes to stuff like this.
Yeah.
Wow, great confirm. More aware of the meat and more aware of the backdash now.
And that backdash got clipped, but it got them out of the pressure.
It did, but like this is like the problem now. Is that like now that backdash is being called out, what is Gio to do? And that's what I was talking about. That is how that works. That is so unfortunate. You have the drill kick, right? I mentioned it before that if Nago or a couple of other characters try to hit one of the minions, it actually extends their active frames. But with Gio, with that drill being the case, it just stopped her, like in place.
Yeah.
And Jacko got the punish. Like it's so hard for Gio to traverse those, much harder than a lot of other characters.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about now, where the minion eats the plus frames. So she's plus on block against a minion. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that is
Which
rough.
is like, that's like no consequence because like you're where it's like, dang, now I really, really, really have to block. And it just sucks.
Yeah, really rough. I was feeling like that would be, in Ino's case, the reason why it works for her is because H-Dive hits multiple times. So you can breeze through the minions and then clip Jacko on the way out. So I was figuring that those interactions would be kind of very important because without that, Ino really struggles in that matchup. And at least Ino has something like HCL to rely on. Gio has to get in. Really unfortunate.
The thing about Hourglass as well is that Hourglass is very proactive with using that defensive stance, which is why earlier when you had mentioned like even though we didn't really see it as often, or if we did see it, it was mostly whiffed. That's why when you look in situations like that, that's why when you see stuff like that, when you see that someone is like jumping in at you and normally your first reaction is to 6P, I'm pretty sure that's why we didn't see Gio use that upper body invincible like move that she has, the uppercut, because it's a situation where like that's always in the back of somebody's mind. All Jacko does is need to see once that they're challenging that, and then like, because even if she does land, if she IEDs and then claps her hands and then the defense is up, even if she lands, she's still safe enough.
And it looks like in that set earlier, unsurprising from what we were watching, Danny took it over Swidge Luke, so it's going to be them against Hourglass of Rain. Both players have been looking very dominant so far in the tournament. Huge 6P, forcing their way out of the corner.
Yeah, I don't blame them at all. I have to burst that.
Minion kicking them back to mama.
I like it. I like it. They did that. They did that dash cancel because they were hoping that they would cross under and they wouldn't stay with their back to the corner.
That throw setup off the jump from Hourglass, I have not seen that before from a Jacko, and that is dirty.
Oh yeah, that setup is actually terrifying because it leads into so much. She gets like a 4-way mix up there. Like if the minion's already down, it's actually insane. Nice. Stun Dipper.
Much like the Happy Chaos matchup, Danny using Stun Dipper to kind of snipe out those minion tosses.
You know, what you have to be careful about that wasn't the case with like Happy Chaos, that is with the that wasn't the case with Happy Chaos, but is with Jacko, is 2K2D. He can end up getting hit even by accident with that. Okay,
so fast.
Really? I didn't.
Low profiling under the JH, but it's not going to matter. And Danny, a force to be reckoned with.
For sure. Playing this Kai super proactively, and I'm always here for it.
Yeah, and we've seen
Kai. Is there anything else to you in that match particularly?
Well, I was just going to say, maybe not particularly about that match, and Danny does just play this way all the time, but we also have seen in this tournament 2 matchups where sitting back and playing, honest, neutral, right footsies, not really an option. So it's nice to see him honestly, it might complement his playstyle to be put against these characters who want to keep you away until you're under their circumstances. It might play into his favor. That's gonna hurt. Opting to break the wall with what the hell's that move called? Dire Clot, so that they can put him in a stun state.
The pressure.
And I think part of the reason why Danny has not been RCing out of their stun dippers is because people are so conditioned to expect that when he's got 50 meters.
Oh, great confirm. Sets up the 6-up as well. She's going to get enough meter, yep, off of one throw. He has to burst soon. Nice.
And it's baited.
Once again. Ay. You're bursting the minions. You're never really bursting her. Trying to find. Just barely alive, too.
How are you living? And that kick again, but clearly not a safe jump.
Right. That's what I was talking about. 2K2D. You gotta be worried about those. You can't really stun dipper through those because it'll either trade or she'll stop you with 2K.
Right through the stun edge. Danny finds his way in and makes it count. Meters on the table for stun dipper. And not going to need it.
Danny once again. Clean it up, dusting their hands off, doing pretty well.
Yeah. Looking a little unstoppable.
Yeah, Danny's doing very, very well. They are appropriately placing themselves where they should be in a lot of these fights, and it is so interesting to be able to watch. I know I've said it like a bunch, but like I genuinely love seeing proactive Kais. Proactive Kais are so sick to see.
And scary. Scary too.
Yeah. Very, very scary for sure. Curious as well. Is there? I wonder if there's any. What adaptation can really? For right, it's kind of hard for me to with Hourglass, but I'm trying to see what adaptation can they truly make. What is? Oh goodness! Unfortunate with the burst.
6H's
This
are flying.
won't be death, but if they had rode the lightning, I think that actually would have been like next hit probably would have just been death, honestly. Nice setting back up to full screen as well.
Straight through the minions.
KO. Battle 2.
Slash.
Decide the destiny.
Okay.
I think if
One thing is
anything...
I haven't given...
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. By all means.
I think
the only thing I was going to say was Danny, Danny has like a very... They are consistently sniping out these minions very well. Like, super well. The only time the minions haven't died was when it was to his projectiles, but Danny's doing a good job at controlling like neutral points.
I don't know if this is on my end, but things are getting a little choppy. Okay, cool.
Uh-oh. Server things.
Oh, whoa. Yeah, I was actually going to say something very similar. As far as the minions. Yeah. Oh, I'm out of go. Yeah, I think if there was anything that Hourglass could have done is just recognizing the distance, especially with regards to those minion snipes from Danny. Recognizing the distance where pulling those minions also puts you in range of Stun Dipper. Since Danny was doing such a good job of contesting with that and also taking the knees out from underneath Jacko.
That's a very, very good point, actually. I didn't really think about that, but I'm glad you brought that up, because that is something definitely that you have to think about if you are trying to, if you're going up against this Kai. I think that Danny did a great job at just really sniping those minions and controlling space on their own, that I think, like, it is absolutely crazy to see how Danny was playing, like, that entire time. And plus, Jacko, even though she has such crazy offense and great pressure, like great block pressure, she has low health, and it's very, very low health, and it's not enough to really like consistently put her in a spot to where like she is where she's like, I can eat this and I'll be okay.
No, yeah, and especially some of the spots where I have run into this quite a bit. Kai's damage predominantly comes from those counter hit situations. He wants you to
Yeah.
challenge. And when he does, yeah, we're talking like soul levels. It's pretty bad. And especially for a character like Jacko, yeah, you can make
Mm-hmm.
maybe 2 mistakes in a round.
Mm-hmm. And it only really takes two touches, especially if Jacko fights like Nago, like
Mm-hmm.
it's really a two touch scenario like every time.
Yeah.
Like he really really can mess her up very badly. Let's see, as this turn has moved on, that was winners finals, and I believe now we'll be heading towards the losers bracket side of things, which will be very interesting as we are here in top eight.
Lovely.
Talon
And we've
versus
seen
Tokyo.
Taliesin before with the
Mm-hmm.
Geo.
Yeah, yeah, we saw them earlier in the Geo Mirror match versus Cristiano. I wonder. Let me see. Looking at the bracket here, Taliesin and Cristiano have a chance to play each other again in loser semis, depending on how each of their matches go.
Mm-hmm. Not one, but two Geo mirrors.
Yeah. What's also like kind of crazy as well is that if let's say like let's say that they do win this, let's say that Taliesin does in fact take this, Geo against Happy Chaos, because that's who they would have to fight, is Squidge Lake again,
Mm-hmm.
is so crazy unfortunate for Geo.
Yeah.
Like it just simply sucks. It sucks
Mm-hmm.
really, really bad.
Yeah, and it's surprising because you'd think that a lot of characters like Chip, I think to an extent people have been saying that Bridget does pretty well against Happy Chaos. These characters who have these mobility options are normally able to do pretty well against him. But Geo, this might be a situation where the step dash is, granted, you can block out of it, but there's only so much you can
Mm-hmm.
do with blocking.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Can't block forever. Like theoretically you could, but like it gains you nothing. Like it's not gonna be good to be blocking consistently against Happy Chaos. It just gives
Yeah,
them more room to sort of like it gives them more room to win, like in just a very literal sense of the literal sense. It's not anything about
absolutely.
the space. It's not anything about the control. You block. The more it is you block against Happy Chaos, the more of an unfortunate situation you put yourself in.
Yeah, and defense in particularly this game where the damage is so high, I've noticed this fighting against characters like Melia and Happy Chaos. I can block maybe the
Mm-hmm.
first 3 or 4 mix-ups, but the mental toll that it takes is real. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Worrying about if I miss this one, then damage is going to rack up. They're going to get good Oki, and seeing the new things that they throw out, it's rough. You absolutely cannot
Mm-hmm.
block forever.
Yeah, it's like the same sort of mindset that like Milia has as well. If she ever fights like a Nago, right? Is that same
Mhm.
thing of like, okay, I have to keep this pressure, these mix-ups going, because if not, like the chance of me losing is like so heavy, so much heavier than like
Yes.
Nago losing.
Yes. I really experienced that against Chaos and Axel playing where once I finally get
Oh yeah,
in,
yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
my offense tanks because I'm so nervous about like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
if I mess up, then I have to play neutral again. Um,
Yeah,
as a result, right, you're so focused on that you fold.
yeah. Like you have to keep in mind as well that like while the characters are fighting each other, the players are fighting as hard as the characters are. Right? I think that
100%.
is like like a mental stack is very very real. And
Mhm.
if you've ever been in a situation where you keep getting command grab or you keep getting thrown, strike throw is like in your head, then it can be a very, very big problem because
Yeah,
it can lead to so many unfortunate things in the future and potentially even lose you the set.
yeah, that
Your
feeling.
mentality has to be strong.
Mhm. That moment when I've experienced this a lot of times before, that moment when you're like,
Yeah,
oh, I have been mixed. Like I am just
yeah,
thoroughly I don't know what's going on anymore. Um
yeah. I'm just
it's
getting messed up.
rough.
Very, very rough because it can be hard to sort of see your way out with like when it starts getting to you, when it starts affecting you, it's messing with your faculties. You're not able to consider as many options as you would before.
Mm-hmm. All right, and I think we should be heading now into Taliesin versus Toki. And Toki on the May.
A character we had mentioned earlier. So far,
nice
just lots
challenge.
of buttons back and forth. That's the first real confirm and challenge we see from Taliesin. Going to be decent damage as well.
Mm-hmm. And 5P on that, I think it's JH from May. That's another one of those aerial buttons that hits very low, and it's great for stuffing out 6Ps. So 5P might be the answer there for Geo, especially since she's got a 4-frame.
The 6-inch as well, breaks the wall in return. Totsugeki, nope, just jump back. May is such a fast character. Her movement is actually, like, genuinely very, very crazy.
Oh, yeah. Her ability, like you were saying, to, like, run away, look for an advantage situation, burst coming out. Can they do anything with it? Yes!
Oh, that hit. That's not going to kill, though. This super does
no
no damage.
She got them Japanese guts, but this will.
The red RC.
Decide
Ooh, okay. Let's see with the music. Music kind of fire. I know exactly what game this is from, too. Got the T4 special.
Opting not to break the wall with super.
That's been happening so often recently. It seems like the meta is more so to use those RCs to open up more pressure. Really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and another thing to think about. Well, when you get something like that off of it, nice defense by Taliesin. There's also something to consider where breaking the wall with super gives your opponent quite a bit of their burst meter back. And in a situation like this, where you're fighting from uphill, that might be something that the players are keeping in mind.
You're right.
Bit of a funny situation there, but it's going to come out in Toki's favor. Not quite enough, especially now that she's in that defensively powered state with 100 Oki, or 100 meter.
Oh, nice. And the changes as well to make that combo more viable. Taliesin takes this round, or at least this game. And now currently sitting at the score at 1-0.
Yeah, that's something that's really scary about this game, is that you can be in a situation where your opponent has no health, you break the wall, you get that positive bonus, and then you look down and realize that they're sitting on 100 meter, and you just kind of realize, like, this is not over.
Yeah. It's just not okay, because like the tides change so fast in this game.
Absolutely. I like Totsugeki there, looking maybe for a backdash, but Taliesin not giving it up.
Nice. Tried to stop it, knew the IAD was coming, but did it super early.
And again, looking for a backdash, but not getting it. And Taliesin immediately adjusting, knowing they're going to throw out that Totsugeki. I'm going to challenge.
Totsugeki has a response getting stopped with the 2K. I actually did not know that. I didn't know it was that effective at doing that. This is death.
And those tap dust from Taliesin with 50 meter really working out for him.
Decide the destiny.
Run up throw, we love it.
Good awareness from Taliesin, man. It kept backing up, knowing the throw was coming, so he could get the whiff punish. Oh, good hit. Oh no.
That's the second time there's been a bit of a weird interaction with that cross up from the JH. Dolphins are flying. That's a safe jump. And that's a kill.
Taliesin already putting the score up at 2-0 here in losers round 5.
Yeah, quick games.
Yeah, quick work for sure. This could end up being a potential 3-0 as well. I think Taliesin's more like proactive with their offense than May is, ironically enough. Like, despite their opponent, I think Toki is doing a good job with obviously like landing what hits they can. But the callouts on the Totsugekis have really been messing with Toki's game plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that 2K to me is still super impressive.
Oh, Ooh, an unfortunate burst. Yeah, bursting against May in the corner. Everything is stupidly burst safe.
Oh, vertical dolphin.
And 7 golden letters for Toki to start it off. Signs of life.
2. Decide the destiny.
Nice, good
Ready with
awareness, but
6B.
misses.
And a great backdash from Toki there, recognizing that that's a safe jump. Ooh.
2D, the God button from Geo. Nice,
New
good
command grab with
awareness,
Cotton.
but no confirm. It's the corner at least. 6P was already ready for it. This is gonna be death.
KO.
And Toki,
Impressive, bro.
yeah, Taliesin sitting on set point.
Decide the destiny.
And has been doing a really good job of stuffing these dolphins. If Toki wants to stay in this, they might have to play the neutral a little bit slower.
Could
Another-
second time that's happened, but it's the second time it's resulted in death. There's that big Taliesin finding the corner, man. Has to
Yeah,
be
just
FD doesn't have the
relentless
reversal.
offense.
True. Good block of the burst.
Yeah, those safe jumps really coming in handy for him. Backing off, recognizing the life lead. You got to come to me.
So far, Taliesin. With the 5P mash, it goes right over the head. This could be big.
Bro's gonna connect.
Oh no. They broke the wall. If it was an optimal situation, I definitely wouldn't have broken in that scenario. What a
Yeah,
2D,
absolutely.
man.
Oh.
Not only did they get hit by the 5D, the 2K low profile, their 5P. I
That's
cannot
rough.
believe that, man. Taliesin moves onward in the bracket here in loser's bracket. It was so impressive, man. I think there was a couple adaptations in that match from Taliesin that I was like, sheesh. That was
Yeah.
well played, man.
Yeah, just dismantled Toki.
Mhm.
Really, I mean, and really impressive that the personally, like the amount of damage that May can deal out, and especially some of those buttons she can hit in neutral, like 5H, to really dissuade aggression on her opponent's end.
Mhm.
And Taliesin just hit the burners, you know. And I think if anything, that's what if Toki could have done anything, I think throwing out some of those more defensive options, holding back, and forcing Taliesin to run into a big disjoint like close slash, not close slash, like far slash, like 5H, instead of going for the Dolphins, might have been the move there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's it's a very interesting scenario because it's a situation where things are
Battle 1.
where things seem like they could be like a lot more like present, like where you could make a couple more adaptations, but even still, it's like it just didn't end up working out for Toki.
Yeah, and it's a long hill to climb once you're at that 2-0 point.
Yeah, and this is going to be a difficult matchup too.
Yeah, just like you were saying. Yeah. Throws them out of the tap dust. That's huge. Let's see what offense they can get started off it. Sitting on YRC. Chooses to use the meter. Nice. I love the cancel into 6P.
Nice.
Battle 2. Decide the destiny.
I'm at 5H, whiffing at a very inopportune moment. Tap Dust finds its way home. No wall slump. Only one bullet left, but they got the concentration back. Chooses to reload before the wall break.
KO.
And no meter spent from Taliesin again. I think especially for her, like you said, right? No invincible reversal. YRC is a very useful tool in this matchup, but also something that Happy Chaoses are looking for.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's like Happy Chaos is so like it's the same situation that we saw that was so bad for with Jacko as well. It's just like the continuous pressure. The pressure is like a lot to deal with, and that's
Yeah, no
sort
matter
of like
where
the
you are on the
unfortunate
screen.
part about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to talk about mental stack too. This character, that fact that he's oppressive from anywhere on the stage at any time, really makes it difficult to play against him.
Mm-hmm.
Catches the backdash with that 2K. That's a disgusting button. Oh!
Oh, both of them correct, just at the wrong distance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Great use of meter from Squidgeluke, and you can see, I mean, Taliesin was ready to deal with some kind of an escape option from Squidge, but not that one.
It's the air dash faultless defense that sends him rocketing across the screen.
Chasing backdash there with that close slash. Great attack from Taliesin. Fortunate trade there for Geo. There's that YRC. Oh, and goes for the run of throw, but Squidge is ready with the backdash. Is that going to be enough? Oh, yeah. No!
Yeah. It's hard. It's a hard matchup. Like,
Absolutely.
This is what I was saying before, where I was like, if they do manage to win, which they did, and then Geo moved on, that fighting in the Happy Chaos would be so much more difficult for them. It'd be way more problematic to try and see through a lot of that offense with Geo with no like reliable reversal.
Yeah, it's a tall peak to climb.
Mm-hmm. Very, very tall peak to climb. That much is for sure.
But we have seen some adjustments. We'll see if Taliesin's able to get themselves on the board. I love it. Run up DP. Taking it from Danny. And that roll through dirty. There it is again. YRC coming out, and this time knows that they're going to backdash. Goes for that run up 2S. Looking for a jump out, but Luke's ready with the 6B.
Good jump.
Chooses to just get a bullet back. Nice backdash.
Very well done. Very, very well done from Taliesin.
Decide the destiny.
5S. Super strong.
Crazy, crazy disjoint for a guy just throwing his hands out in front of him.
Right.
Ooh, can't get the confirm off the RC. That's gonna be rough. Just a burst does not want to go into another round. And forces it out of Luke too. That's really important, even if they lose this round. And Luke's looking for YRC. Great backdash. Ready for the tap dust. Nice.
Baited the 6B. Well done.
I love that adaptation. Yeah, I love that from Taliesin.
They were getting sniped out a lot from just from getting anti-aired a lot by the 6P, and then being able to backdash and use that spacing to sort of snipe the 6P instead of actually getting hit by it as well. Very, very great adaptation. I agree.
Yeah, and we saw it, and part of it is avoiding that curse is so crucial for any character in this matchup, but it allows Taliesin to continue that strong, relentless, oppressive offense that they clearly fell at.
Decide the destiny.
And there's that speed really coming in handy, even with the curse. And those 236Ks consistently landing, but that one was just out of range. Immediate YRC. And Squidge Luke, again, with the adaptation, knows that they were going to backdash and chooses to challenge with that success.
Nice.
Ready for it. Can't burst. But that's not going to kill.
Oh. Whoops.
Chooses to hold on to the burst. I like the decision.
Yeah, because like if you burst in the situation, just going to send Happy Chaos back to full screen.
Exactly. There's nothing you can do there. Cap Dust hits home. Gold burst.
Good 2P challenge on the dash.
Roll through.
Plus frames. Oh, backdash.
Those backdash 5Hs. Yeah, they've been coming in really clutch for Taliesin. One more touch would do it for Luke. Ooh, looking for that YRC, but held forward just as it came out.
Okay, he's clashing. Taliesin using this opportunity to stagger the pressure and get to the quarter. Okay. The plus frames. Just using a lot of that FD just to try and get them away. Oh, but gets hit by the cross up.
That's rough. Really nowhere to burst there. I really liked in that set Taliesin's adjustments to the applying 236K in their pressure. You saw that they really delayed it at one point to catch a button, and immediately afterwards did, I think, like close slash backdash to bait a 6B, because if that happens to you, you know that 236K isn't frame trapping and you're mashing 6B. So I love that adaptation for Taliesin to go, okay, I got a little cheeky with that one. I'm going to make them whiff and then punish them for it. And then after that, using Spiral Arrow to continue their pressure, which loses to 6B, because you know that you just punished them for 6Bing, they're probably not going to do it again. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, agreed. Taliesin still played their heart out. Congratulations to them. They at least made it to top 8 here at the Digital Havoc 135 Guilty Gear Strive tournament. I am going to be interested to see them fight Cristiano. It'll be another Giovanna player these two are going to end up fighting.
Yeah, and we'll see whether Cristiano approaches the matchup against Happy Chaos any differently.
Yeah, that's more so what like my brain was going towards, right? Or what I was thinking about was more so like, how does this change? How does this like improve? It's like crazy. It's like kind of insane.
Yeah, really speaks to what you were saying earlier about, you know, you can talk about the character matchups as much as you want, but what it really comes down to, especially at high level like this, is the player matchup. You know, figuring out how to take apart that puzzle.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree as well. I think that's like it's the same puzzle, but people have different ways of solving it, right? So I think that's how it's going to be when we see Cristiano fight against this Happy Chaos here. It's going to be very, very interesting seeing Swidge Luke fight them as well. And whoever wins this match will move on to fight Jacko, or aka Hourglass of Rain, in the losers finals after the semifinal match here.
Yeah. Beautiful. It looks like we'll be getting started any minute then.
With both players as well. After they make it to finals, we'll choose who goes up against Danny too. So that'll be super, super interesting to see how that moves forward as well.
Yeah, and at least for Squidge and Hourglass, both of them looking for maybe a little bit of revenge against him. Ooh, great awareness from Luke. And that's really what Gio excels at, is trying to get her opponent to whiff a button and then punishing it with that movement in those buttons.
Mm-hmm.
And the pressure's not ending anytime soon, but he's on one bullet, and it's gone. And this is going to be rough. This is really where, if you're playing Cristiano, you got to lay that pressure on. Don't give him any time to reload, and he's got 2.
But still, plenty of pressure there. Squidge plays very interestingly in the sense that, like, they decide great backdash. And, like, the sense of, like, they don't really 6P against the drill or anything. They just hold faultless defense.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting decision.
Like, they just block. Which gives, like, Cristiano more time to, like, do his stuff.
They heard us.
Yeah. Right. Guess they did. That's the first time I've actually seen it, because even against Taliesin, they didn't do that much either.
I think part of it is that, oh, that's unfortunate.
It is.
Part of it is that Geo players, like we said, 6P is a good answer to a lot of their, the 236K, to the Spiral Arrow. Most characters tend to be able to use it pretty well against her overhead. So Geo players are well aware of that and are normally looking for a 6P to punish. So I think that maybe the reason why Squidge Luke, it took so long, is because they just wanted to see it presented more so that they could go, I think that's what they're going for. I'm safe to 6P here. Because it's reactable, but barely. Especially when you've got that mental stack piled on.
Yeah. It can be kind of difficult to... Sometimes your worst enemy can be yourself, so it can be kind of difficult to fight back against that.
Decide the destiny.
Ooh, and that gunshot whiffing even at that range, and another one whiffing. I love the air stalls from Luke when he's trying to escape the corner. Just use the burst. And put right back in the same situation. Nice backdash. Goes for the cross-up, but Squidge is ready to block it.
Nice. It's gonna be death, yep.
Yep. That round will go to Luke.
Battle 2. Decide the
Let's
destiny.
see. Next up. Okay, starting things off with the dash up 5K. Great hit.
So takes the corner back, combos into a wall slump. Man.
Yeah, this is the type of play it is that, like, I would expect to see from, like, Happy Chaos. It's best not always to break the wall. Pretty much every single time today we have seen someone break the wall. That's the first time we haven't seen that. And in some situations the wall slump is just better. You don't want to break the wall. Although when they're that high, they can tech off.
Yeah, and it's actually it's not even height. It's specific. You have to do a specific attack in order an attack that leaves the opponent grounded in order to get them to stick to the wall.
Interesting.
Yeah, so for Ino, she has to do, most of the time, she's going to do something like JS close slash 2H or 2K 6P into slash stroke will get it to stick. And one of the strengths of Happy Chaos is that Wall Slump is both a very strong mechanic and he's able to get it really easily with the gunshots because they normal gunshot does not pop the opponent up.
Interesting. Okay, like that, yeah.
Yeah, so there, because they were already in the air, they don't have the option.
Interesting, okay.
Looks like a burst there to yeah, and it looks like the RC there was to try and bait a burst, and good on Cristiano for holding on to it. 6P whiffing because of the FD.
Nice.
Perfect.
Squidge loot.
Battle
Doing
2.
well.
Decide the destiny.
roll through and throw. Cristiano trying to reach him before he was able to pull after that curse, but just not getting there in time. I love that adaptation from Luke, seeing that Cristiano was backdashing a lot after those reloads and chasing it down with the 6S.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Squidge definitely adapted fast at that, already taking the score to 2-1 throughout the set. That'll be super interesting, to see how they sort of play things out in the last one. Cristiano started out super, super strong and still seeing a couple good call-outs here and there, but still nothing that's going to be able to seem to take the game point away from Squidge Luke so far. It's just hard for Gio to deal with that type of pressure.
Yeah, and her offense, like we said, those characters where they have to RPS after a move that's like slightly minus on block. Anytime that you're not laying the pressure on, it's a chance for Happy Chaos to escape and get this start again. What a block on the roll through. Nice, both players spending some meter. A risky situation there to challenge on that clone.
Nice.
Just barely drops, but has the awareness to cancel it into a move that's plus. And we're going coast to coast. Is it going to be enough? Oh, yeah. Yep. And that super, the amount of hits that it does just crushes guts.
Battle 2.
Yeah.
Decide the destiny.
The burst.
And again, chasing down that backdash. And this is a rough situation to be able to get in on. Happy Chaos in this situation perfectly fine with just stalling out the clock, getting up that chip damage, but Cristiano manages to make their way in. And right there, like you were saying, chooses to take the corner, or to keep the corner. Ooh, the FD pushes him just out of range for that mix. And Luke, you're crazy.
Yeah, facts. Facts.
And I love the movement from Cristiano in this last segment, trying to stay unpredictable. Not going to be enough, can't convert off of it.
Enough time to reload as well. Yeah.
Catches the backdash.
Yeah.
Man, Cristiano really
is crazy.
Yeah, clone is definitely something that's difficult to deal with. Cristiano, I thought, made a lot of nice. I really like the unpredictability of their movement there at the end, trying to catch Luke making a mistake, but just couldn't catch enough of him. And I think it's also worthwhile noting, as maybe the word is overtuned and annoying Happy Chaos might be, there's still the player element in there. Squidge Luke made a lot of really nice adaptations to catching those backdashes. And it's great to see.
I agree. I also think it's very, very great to see. I think it's super interesting to be able to witness sort of just this adaptation from all players in general.
Beautiful.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and cut to a quick ad here, y'all. Don't move anywhere. Go and grab some snacks if you can. Use the bathroom, get some water, and stay hydrated. And we will be right back with you with some more Guilty Gear Strive here at Losers Finals.
Absolutely.
right,
And
guys,
welcome back.
in. Oh, you can go ahead. You go.
I was just
You
saying,
already
welcome
had
back.
it. You already had it.
Yeah, welcome back to Digital Havoc 135. We are heading into the end of our bracket, going into losers finals, which is going to be Hourglass of Rain versus Squidge Luke, Jacko versus Happy Chaos, which is a matchup I don't think I've ever seen before in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it before, really either. Yeah, this will be pretty interesting because both of them have sort of like the plus frames of like spatial control, which is like super interesting because normally Jacko uses it through her minions, and then you have Happy Chaos who does it through
Battle one.
and then you have Happy Chaos through through their bullets and through their guns.
And we're not going to see the matchup anyway. Hourglass of Rain choosing to go with Bridget, who, as we said, is considered by some to be a counter pick.
Mm-hmm.
And it's certainly going well for them so far. Yeah, it's a dirty mix-up. Definitely something you have to look out for as soon as Bridget gets that meter. And what a fuzzy there.
Yeah. Lots of consistent pressure, lots of continuous pressure as well. Sort of keeping things on the upkeep for Hourglass of Rain here.
Nice challenge there from Squidge Luke. Gotta get out before that yo-yo pressure gets started because it's very hard to escape once it's on. Nice, and knows that they want to challenge there that time. Hourglass makes the adjustment. Ooh, burst's not going to connect. What a challenge. And choosing to keep the wall. Oh, DP baited with the clone, and the burst is going to put him back in the corner. What a sequence there. As soon as Squidge Luke was able to get it started, Bridget just built that meter back, or built that burst back and was able to escape. And I think that speaks exactly to what we were talking about. Squidge Luke's ability to keep a cool head during those kind of endless Bridget mix-ups and challenge with Far Slash at just the right opportunity was almost able to turn the tide for him.
One. Decide.
All right, going into round two, we'll see if Luke is able to make any adjustments to take the lead. Immediate burst coming out. I don't blame you. Jumps out. New throw's coming. Runs up and spins those roller skates right in his face. Is that going to be enough? No, keeps the wall, but Half Dust will do it.
Battle 2. Decide the destiny.
And again, that clone baiting the DP. Great patience from both players. Ooh, reacts to the mix. Not gonna matter though, the pressure continues, and Luke puts himself on the board.
Final battle. Decide the...
And Luke really consistently throughout all of these sets has been willing to spend their burst very quickly. We'll see if that's something that... Ooh, whiff throw there, but it's not going to matter. We'll see if that's something that Hourglass can adapt to. my goodness.
KO.
Yeah, Roger Drop there supposed to be a move that's used to bait out 6Ps, but when you've got a 6S that anti-airs and advances, it's a little bit less effective, I suppose. Fun, I don't know if this is on my end, but there we go.
No,
I think I can hear you.
I think he actually had a bit of an issue, so I'm going to come in and chat for a little bit until his internet is back up. His internet just went down literally like mid-match.
Yikes, yeah.
It happens. Alright, so we're back here now. We're in game 3.
Decide the destiny.
And I really love these ascending JHs at round start from Hourglass.
Yeah. Right here, okay. Got that the green stuff on them. Good bait though with the clone.
Yeah, consistently getting those baits with the clone. Blocks the roll that is so difficult and really patient with that YRC.
Oh, that sucks.
KO.
Counter hit from the gun lift.
Battle 2. Decide the destiny.
Wow, good to it. S there.
Yeah, that delay on it to counter poke the 2S, really good.
Oh,
Yeah, and I think that's part of why
there was
this
a bait.
I think that's part of why this matchup is considered slightly favored for, well, at least not so bad for Bridget, is her ability to throw the yo-yo out and stop any curse shenanigans from happening.
Well, like watching DreamHack San Diego last weekend, because Hotashi won with her, and this is pretty much a lot of what you saw in the matchup. Throwing that yo-yo from behind, and just kind of getting that Oki setup, and also that added block string pressure, because they have to respect the yo-yo from behind them.
Blocks the tap D, nice.
Good throw. Oh,
Blocks the overhead, and I wonder if Luke is looking for a fast RC on that, which would make it much less reactable.
All right. Hold that pressure. Oh, nice overhead. And here, yeah.
Yeah, gotta look out for that.
Yeah, there it
spin.
is. Yeah.
Nice.
Hourglass.
Yeah, so patient, even with the delay. Just going, no, I know you're gonna burst. I'm sitting here.
All right, so it's gonna be 2-1 for Hourglass. Wonder if this is gonna be up into grand finals. By the way, too, folks, don't forget that we do have a Matcherino that you all can support as well, too. I will drop the exclamation points for you guys. There is a Matcherino here you can support. We have a lot of codes that are waiting to be used up, so definitely use them up if you can.
1. Decide the
Yeah, anything we can do to support these players, putting on a good show for us. Really appreciate it. Bait it!
Oh, nice. Okay. That pressure. Oh, there to a spot. Good burst.
Yeah, and this far slash from Happy Chaos really coming in clutch to escape some of these yo-yo situations that can be really scary.
Oh, okay, the mix. Should beat wall, I believe. Not gonna kill them.
And that's rough when you got the green stuff on you and he takes to the air like that.
Yep.
No idea what side he's on.
Hourglass has a lot of tension here, though. Oh, good throw.
They're gonna spend it on the approach. Bait it.
Ooh. Oh my gosh.
What a combo. This character's extensions have gotten really cool since the last patch.
A handful of characters that got some pretty nice changes from the last patch too. Kai got a little bit of stuff too as well. I think Sin got a few changes. Nothing. Well, from what I heard, they were more nerfs for Sin, but nonetheless, though, a lot of characters.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny what they consider. I mean, clearly like a bug fix patch, but funny what they consider to be things that need to be patched. You know.
Dude, it's not even the first time too. Like they had the same thing with Soul before too, and it was like actually a nerf with like the way that Guts was working with some of his combo enders, specifically like with Viper, like his DP. So it was just like. All right, we got here. Oh, good jump in there from Luke. Yeah, that's smart. Call it super out. Get the teddy bear out. Just gives you closure. That's what you want. Running really low. Yeah, they were eventually going to run out on tension. That's tough.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of a checkmate situation.
Decide the destiny.
And we see Luke adapting to being a little bit less gung-ho. Yeah, beautiful. Luke adapting to being a little bit less gung-ho about pulling the gun out when Bridget's able to throw that yo-yo.
Yeah, that's true. Because like every time they've done it so far, like they've always gotten counter hit by it.
Yeah, and for Happy Chaos, that slows this whole roll, takes the curse off, have to put the gun away.
Yep.
What an air throw!
Alright, let's see her. Yeah, look at that patience, just not doing anything, just, you know, FD, that's all you can really do in that situation. It's the best.
Yeah, willing to wait.
Oh,
no.
KO.
Luke, tying it up.
And we are going to go the distance with this one. Both players fighting for that spot in Grand Finals, that rematch against Danny.
Alrighty. So, yeah. Looking like a really solid match. This match is extremely close between these two. Like, at this point, like, it could be anyone's match.
Yeah, this has been one of the most, nail biters that we've seen so far. Definitely very engaging, which is not something you normally hear people say when Happy Chaos is on the screen.
Yeah, it's true.
The destiny.
And we're right into it.
Yep.
And a long range yo-yo spin. Maybe Hourglass recognizing that Luke is not challenging with 6B on those approaches.
Nope. Oh, nice.
Oh, loses the corner. A little bit of spaghetti.
Okay. Reset the neutral here. Oh, that doesn't even matter for Bridget, though. She's just going to zoom right to you.
And I love their decision to kind of wait a second, dash block for a moment before whipping that out.
They tried to, like, bait something. I don't know if they were trying to go bait for normal, a 6P maybe. But they are getting grabbed out of that bad position for them right now. YRC.
Nice delaying the YRC. And a great backdash from Squidge to escape that that ambiguous situation.
Like dust. Oh, okay. Wow.
What a sequence.
Battle 2.
I really was not sure about that burst. Yeah, but...
Dude, neither was I, honestly. It just worked out in their favor to push buttons at that point.
I was going to say, we haven't seen DP come out from Hourglass, and Luke clearly setting up that
not a
there,
single
ready
DP
for it.
this whole set. That is true. I just thought about that now that you mention it.
We saw a few in the first. We saw a few in the first couple games, but Luke was consistently baiting them with that clone, and clearly was going for it again there.
Okay. All right, you got the. Oh no, it's off you now.
Yep, and that big 2H to catch the jump out of time, force him to block some more, and another back throw.
I like the patience here from Hourglass right now.
Yeah, willing to just wait.
Oh, good tech. Big hit.
Not enough to kill, but this mix-up will do it. What a set in the double Luigi situation, and Hourglass is able to pull it off.
Yeah. Great stuff to them. Great stuff to them. Alrighty, so, yeah. Gotta give a round of applause for Squidge Luke. They ran through a gauntlet today. Holy cow. Having to fight like two Geos. Had to deal, well, I guess a mix of Jackal and Bridget. But, they got through it for the most case.
Yeah, quite a loser's run after that match against Danny. But the one who's going to get the rematch is going to be Hourglass in our grand finals.
So let's just make sure that players are good. Let me just get the room code. Oh no, actually no, they're already in here. Sick. That makes our life so much easier.
Raring to go. Teeth bared.
Decide the
Don't
death.
believe them all.
And Hourglass bursting immediately, but a little bit too high.
Damn.
That's a lot of damage.
That hurts a lot. Holy cow. Yo, Danny is just playing neutral.
Blink and you'll miss it.
Battle 2. Decide the destiny.
Another air throw. Second one back. Hold off in that situation at this point. Ooh. Ooh, baited.
Nice.
And look at the damage off of that. Exactly what we were saying earlier. That's where and tries to obscure that throw with the 5P. Hourglass was ready for it, but doesn't make a difference.
Alrighty, so it's gonna be 1-0 for Danny. This is looking really quick right now. That was a kind of a speed run. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Bleak. Danny's been sitting for a while, cooling down, waiting for his challenger, and it clearly has not made a difference. Still ready for the Jacko shenanigans. I don't know if we even saw a minion pull that entire set.
Honestly,
or that entire game.
I don't even know. To be honest with you, I don't think we even got it. It was so fast. Like, things were just moving so quick.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and ready for our next match here. Still, you'll see in a moment here, but it looks like we're getting the Bridget again from Hourglass.
Yeah, maybe a decision based off the idea that her neutral is a little bit stronger than Jacko's with those long buttons.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of hustle it out a little bit better. Ready for that teddy bear.
Mm-hmm.
Not ready for that one. Ooh, a long distance DP, but not ready to bait the burst afterward. Baited.
KO.
Clinical.
Literally.
Battle 2.
Literally.
Decide the destiny.
Ready for the jump in, just a little bit too...
Oh.
That one wasn't off a counter hit, but that's still a chunk of damage.
Hey, that hurts regardless, yeah.
And Hourglass scared of that DP. Ooh, JD gonna catch with a cross up. Looking for DP. Nice. Yo-Yo to stuff out the fireball. Still looking for... Oh, no, dude.
Uh-oh. Yep, that's it.
KO.
Damn.
And we saw it when they were playing Jacko, too, but Danny very aware of where the gaps are on these on his opponents so that he can challenge out. He knew there was a gap on the minion kick from Jacko, knows there's a gap on those yo-yos. And on a character with a DP, yeah, they'll punish you for it.
It's crazy. It is crazy. Damn. I don't know, man. What do you think Hourglass needs to do in this situation? Because it's just, like, it's brutal right now.
I think that one thing... Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
One thing that Hourglass has been doing consistently against a lot of their opponents is being very willing to go for throw techs, and characters like Kai want that. So backing off a little, being willing to take some of the damage.
Wow.
The throw is going to hurt a lot less than the damage that they can rack up.
If they have to get counter hit like that, that was an example right there. But thankfully they had burst, because that would have been a lot of damage there.
Nice, safe jump there.
Great block defense right now from Danny. Oh, okay.
Just built the meter from it. What awareness from Danny for his resources.
Yep. It's the 6. Oh, dang. Cracked. Yep.
KO.
potentially match point
And
right now.
This could be the whole tournament in a blink for Danny. And that air control, like we were talking about earlier, Danny does it better than anybody.
Yeah.
Baited.
Oh, man.
The first DP that they've presented, and Danny baited it.
Yeah, one touch.
Came back and they just exploded. That's insane. like literally.
There it is.
Well,
Perfect.
welcome back. The tournament's over.
Yeah, right.
Danny
literally,
takes it 3-0.